What's up, everybody? It's your favorite apprentice's favorite nerd, and today we are looking at SH Figuarts Darth Maul. Happy Friday to you as well. See, I try to do the non-Transformer stuff on Fridays just because it's a little easier to do. It loosens, it's a little looser of a review, and it kind of gets everybody ready for party mode for the weekend. You know what I mean? And I wish that was the case here, but it's not. This is going to get a little heavy because this is not an easy one to talk about. So, without any further ado, let's talk about accessories, which there is no shortage of, I might add. So he comes with, I'll just get him out of the way, one lightsaber hilt connected. The double-bladed one has a silver metallic finish, and then it has the black paint and red paint on there done flawlessly. And that's not an easy paint job, I must add, and it's done perfectly. Two translucent blades. They do fit in. It's a small little tab here, so just use caution. But there it is, and there it is, you know, kind of in proportion to him. I like it. I had a talk with a buddy of mine, Andrew, about like the length of it. Hold on one second. So this is from the Hasbro one. We're going to be comparing this a lot because this is kind of the bulk of what I'm trying to get to. Now, as you can see, it's warped and it's just, you know, Hasbro goodness. But there that is, and there this is. Now, they're about the same. Actually, the Figuarts one is longer. But the hilt is smaller because the blades are longer. Now, my buddy Andrew was saying maybe the blades are a little too long because they weren't that long in the movie. But I'm kind of okay with it. I think it looks cool and I think it looks more menacing. So I'm on board with this. But if you're a stickler for stuff like that, like my buddy Andrew, and my buddy Andrew can be a stickler about certain things, that might irritate you, but definitely not a deal breaker. He also comes with two broken pieces. They don't connect as far as I can tell. And I guess that's why they give you the one intact, because they didn't want to deal with any of that nonsense. I think it's kind of a smart move. I appreciate it, and the blades do fit in there just fine. He comes with an extra head sculpt, and it just pops right on top of the ball joint. And it's like the menacing face head sculpt. It's done really well. The paint is top shelf. We're going to move him out of the way. The paint is top shelf. Try to get that to focus. Really sharp. There's a gloss there on the eyes to give it that shiny look. The expression is good. The mouth is a little weird, I think. Like, there's not enough expression maybe in the upper lip, but it's certainly not enough to get upset about. It's really fairly menacing. Forget the green on my fingers. It was a Halloween thing. Don't worry about it. I'm fine. In case you were worried about my health, I'm fine. It's not like some sort of illness growing. The horns are good too. They're all sculpted on there and painted. The plastic is black, and then the red is painted on top, and it's done very clean. It's an extremely well painted face. We got a little bit there on the ear, but that could be touched up easily. Then there's gloss also on the teeth. So very good. Lastly, hands. So he comes with two posing hands. Which is good. Dual options. You know, I like that. Two holding hands, dual options, you know I like that. And then two smaller holding hands, which is a nice touch, depending on what you want to do, so I dig that as well. Very, very, very cool. These would be for the smaller weapons because they can just slide, the broken hilt because it can just slide in. Very cool. Nice touch. I'm on board. And then same for the other side. Holds it just fine. And then I'll show you the hilt one too. These have a little bit more give in order to get it around there. If you want to be extra cautious, use some hot water, loosen her up a taste, and then go for it, because it is no easy task. I'll tell you what. Last thing I want to do is praise this thing and then break it on camera and have to explain myself, so let's just be cautious now. and that's a decent grip on there. So good to go. And then those connect to just the little ball pegs on the hands. Let's talk about him. This head sculpt is a thing of beauty. It is probably the most accurate head sculpt I've ever seen on a non-Hot Toys figure. It is a dead ringer. To put it in perspective, there's the Hasbro one. Now, it's not all fun and games, and we'll talk about why, but this head sculpt blows this thing out of the water. Out of the water. It's on a ball peg that's on a hinge also, so you get good up, good down. The neck is also in a ball peg into the torso or the chest, so the neck moves back and forth as well and around. If you can't get the pose you want out of this, it's your fault, not the toys. It's very good. Very good. Fantastic, in fact. The paint also is perfect, as we kind of talked about on the other head, but it's same kind of standard also applies. Now, the rest of this is not as good. It's not bad, but it's not as good, and we're going to talk about it. So, you have a butterfly joint in here, which works just fine. And then this, I can't really tell, but it feels like this is on a kind of a ball hinge here, and then it also feels like there's a ball peg inside there, and then it swivels at the top. So shoulder articulation is, oh, phew! I thought I just did what I said I didn't want to do, but it's fairly perfect. It's like that popping off does bother me a bit, but like it does. I mean, like it is there. There's also this arm in general is a bit looser. Like it's not obnoxiously loose, and it's not like it's drooping or anything. It's just this one feels a little bit more like everything is going the way it's supposed to go, and this one feels like it doesn't have the same amount of friction. But it's fair. And then there is a elbow swivel at this hinge. It's not insane, but it is there. The range of motion is somewhat limited, to be honest with you. And the sculpt in a straight hand does look fine, and then even if you bend the elbow to that angle, it looks good as well, given the joint. It's really hard to do cloth and joints, so that was really well done. Now, this one didn't do a bad job of it either, because it kind of wrapped it up there and left it like it was two separate pieces. It's not as accurate, but it may look better. And then the different color finish, like the gloss finish there, I may like that better as well. I don't know. And then the wrist is on this ball peg that's also on a hinge, so that works fine. There's not a lick of paint. Like there is a finish on these gloves, but all of this is just that black plastic. And the same finish is on the belt as on the gloves, but the rest of it is just that black plastic, which I'm a little disappointed in. I like this one a lot better in that regard. Focus, girl. I like the gloss on the belt and the gloves, and I like the cloth underneath the plastic. Like I just think that adds a layer of depth and texture that I don't feel like the SH Figuarts one has. But moving on, ball jointed waist, so that gets you the swivel and a bit of an ab crunch that works fairly well. Not the best ab crunch in the world, but good enough. Like it hinges there, which is fine, but it's just all on that same ball joint. But it works fairly well. I mean, you can, oh, that head sculpt. I can't say enough good things about it. And then you have this piece of plastic, which is a floating piece on top of the actual sculpt, and then all the joint stuff is underneath, which does give you a lot of depth and texture, but I don't know if it's that much more than what this offers. The bottom piece is all soft plastic for the capes. Once again, I like the cloth. I think if they would have added in that cloth, that would have been nice. And then the actual hip joints are your standard SH Figuarts hip joints. Ball joints at the hips, and then except they don't rock up and down, which I thought they did. So they're different in that regard. Thigh swivels built in there, and then single jointed knee, but it works just fine. And then this doesn't really impede you because actually it works better than fine. Look at that on a single joint. That's pretty impressive. And then you get a little bit of swivel down there. That's kind of useless. And then the ankles have a tilt and a rocker, so that all works really well. And then there's a toe tilt as well, and the toe tilt is actually pretty well done. A lot of times I feel like they're too far in, but this one looks like it was going to, but when you put it into use, it doesn't look bad. So that's cool, and that's basically this figure in a nutshell. Size comparison wise, there he is next to the Hasbro Maul. Now aside from the head sculpt, I don't feel like the rest of the figure is that much more impressive. Now, he's going for like 75 bucks now on eBay. If you're going to spend 75 bucks for this, just spend the extra 25 and get that. But like 20 bucks and 100 bucks, I'm not sure if this is an $80 improvement from that. That's a hard decision. That's a really hard decision. Not unlike...
Which one are you going to go with?
I don't know. What do you think?
Tough decisions. Tough decisions.
They're all so good.
Good luck! Good luck!
Yeah, thanks. Guess I'll just cover my eyes and pick one. And there he is with Vader and Kylo Ren for your Sith Lord action. And I gotta tell you, I do like that. Like, I think them all looks fine. Especially when you take Kylo Ren out of it. Like, I think that size-wise, that feels really good to me. Final thoughts, he's a great figure. He really is. He comes with tons of accessories. It's just that I don't know if he's worth this price. This is a $100 figure. This is a Play Arts Kai priced figure, and he's awfully small without a lot of paint outside of the head to come with it. And that's my biggest gripe. Like, if he was priced like the other SH Figuarts stuff, like the DC line, like the Injustice line, if he was 60 bucks, I'd say jump all over this. But at 100 bucks, I'm just not sure. It's a lot of money for what you're getting here. And he's not bad. He's not bad at all. He's just expensive. Now, the Hasbro one is 75 bucks too, but taking that out and thinking of the Hasbro one is only 20 bucks, I know I said it before, but I don't feel like I can say it enough. I don't think this is an $80 improvement. $40 improvement? Absolutely. Just for the head and accessories alone, absolutely. $80 improvement? Not so much. If this had something else going on there with paint, if it had little stuff that you could hang the hilt on the belt somewhere, that would be nice. If it came with a cloak, like a cloth cloak that you could put on over top, that would have been nice. But it doesn't have those things, and for what you're getting here, it just, I know I sound like a broken record, but I just don't feel like I can say it enough. It doesn't feel like 100 bucks. It doesn't. Now let's talk about the good stuff. The articulation is everything you need. The paint, where it is applied perfectly. The sculpt is outstanding. Like I said, probably the best face sculpt I've ever seen on a non-Hot Toys figure. And Hot Toys aren't for me. If you got to dress them up and put them in little outfits and all that, that's cool if it's your thing. It's just not my thing. It's not for me. So, I am a huge Darth Maul fan. I know he's a silly character. I know he's a complete throwaway. I understand all of these things. I think he was poorly utilized as well. I think he's empty and hollow as well. I'm totally with you. However, the design is so cool. I think that he's probably the coolest design character in the past 20 years. And I know those are big words, but he's a very, very striking looking character. You can take one glance at him, you know what he's all about, and he's interesting. You want to know more about him. It's just a shame that they killed him off. I firmly believe that had George Lucas made 4, 5, and 6 in the late 90s, early 2000s, he'd have killed Darth Vader in the first movie, no questions asked. That guy just kind of kept at it past his prime, in my opinion. But be that as it may, I think he is an insanely cool looking character. I think that they've expanded on him in the EU, they've expanded on him in the Clone Wars and stuff to a point where it's better, but if you're like me, you wanted more from him kind of all the way around. That being said, still looks cool. I'm still a huge fan of him. I am happy with him, but only because I'm such a big fan. I would have been ecstatic with him. I would have been overjoyed had he been priced at a normal SH Figuarts price point. At least in terms of what I'm familiar with. Had he been in that Injustice price range of 60 bucks, because I got news for you, he's no better than Joker or Harley. You know, just in terms of how he's made and how he works. If he'd have been in that price point, I would have told you, drop what you're doing, run and get this thing. But he's not at that price point. He's $40 more. So I got to tell you, choose wisely. Think hard on it. it's a little figure with not a lot going on to be $100. So, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.